Don't become homeless. Don't become homeless. Because if you do, you be sitting on the sidewalk like me.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Rico the Trainer. Y'all know who I am. Y'all know what I do. But today it's not about me. I got
James
with me, and we here to talk about what it's like on the streets of Philadelphia. What's up, James? How you feeling today?
I'm alright. It's a little hot, but
Yeah. Tell them your name, full name, and where you from.
my name is James Myers. I grew up in Kensington, Westmoreland, in my grandmom's house.
Born and raised in Philadelphia?
Yep, I was born in Temple Hospital.
Okay.
And
How old are you?
I'm 31. I actually
31.
turned 32 the 28th of this month. Yep.
Okay.
July 28th.
Birthday coming up.
Yep.
Okay. And how long you been out on the streets?
About 3-4 years.
3-4 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did that come about?
Well, my grandma passed away, and I was living with my aunt for about a year or two. One of my cousins that also lived in the house, he started stealing, was real big into smoking wet. So she thought it was me all the time, so she kicked me out. Turns out, she found out it was him, but still, for some reason, hasn't taken me back. I don't know. Like, I went to talk to her, and she told me not to come near the house. So I don't know what that's about.
So she kicked you out, and you had nowhere else to go?
No. I mean, normally when I'd get kicked out of like my mom's house or something, like I'd go to my grandmom's, but
Okay. So did you do drugs?
I used to, yeah. I used to do a lot of pills. I used to smoke wet, drink, do a lot of partying. But I stopped that when I was like in my 20s, maybe 22. I believe I was 22 when I like officially stopped. I smoked weed for a few years, but then I just wasn't into that no more either. So I stopped that.
Okay. So how old were you when she kicked you out?
I was about 28.
Okay. And where'd you go?
For a while, I was staying down there. I was, trying to make it down, like between Allegheny, Somerset, Huntington. Like I was staying down the way, but I just don't like the way the neighborhood is. So I came out to Center City to sleep and stay. It's more peaceful out here. I mean, you still run into the occasional hard-headed person, still get robbed every now and again, but mostly it's peaceful. I can stay out of the way. There's plenty of places to go to stay in my own lane.
So how long you been staying downtown?
About a year or two.
A year or two?
Yeah.
And have you tried going to any shelters?
I did twice actually. And it turned out there wasn't much difference in there. The first time I went to a shelter, within the first couple days, my phone got stolen. I couldn't find my shoes. Within the first week, I wound up with bugs. So at that point, I left.
Wait, they had bed bugs?
No. I guess somebody in there had they called it body lice or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I had caught them. And I didn't like that, so I left. And I stayed out here for another 2-3 months, and it was still winter time. So I tried to go back into another one. Same thing. My stuff got stolen. I wound up with bugs. And then after that, I was, like if I could stay on the streets and get stolen from and not have bugs, then, I'd rather just not have bugs, So...
Okay, so you just left the shelter completely?
Yeah.
And you've been out here ever since?
Yep.
And what's it been like out here?
It's a little rough. the more passive you are, the more polite you are, I feel like the more I get ignored or, you know, told no on things. Um, there's days where I have good days, you know, like I'll sit out there with a sign, you know, in about an hour or two, you know, somebody will walk up, you know, $5, $10 here and there, you know, which is good because, you know, I about an hour and a half, 2 hours, I make like $20, $30. I'm good for the day. You know, I can get something to eat, something to drink, you know, go somewhere, buy a few Lucy's, you know, just relax. I won't really have to do much. So other days are harder, you know. Sometimes I'll sit out here all day and walk around all day, and you know, I won't make much, but like $5, $10, you know. But at the end of the day, I make something. So you know, I'm not completely unsatisfied.
Okay. And how do you feel about the treatment from the people overall being down here?
Overall, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it mostly. They try and act like they're better to me. You know, like just because I'm out here, just like everybody else. I call it title tacking. You know, they run into a few, you know, ignorant, rude people, and it's, oh well, that's how everybody is. You know, and that's really not the case. And a lot of them don't understand that. You know, they think just because we're out here, we're, you know, rude and we like to be dirty, and it's not the case. You know, like I'll sit somewhere for, you know, 3 4 hours, and whatever, you know, whatever mess I have, I'll get up and I'll clean up. You know, like I took all my stuff with me.
Okay. But you do understand that nobody owes you anything,
Yeah,
right?
no, absolutely.
So there's no entitlement. Just want to get that out there.
Yeah, no, I
And
understand that.
so what is it that you're doing to better your situation?
Well, I go to counseling. Like I have therapy and stuff like that. I try and stay like as clean as possible. You know, like sometimes like I'll get like a bottle of body wash or something. You know, I'll clean up at night during the day. I definitely don't like using the bathroom outside. Like if there's a bathroom to use, like I'll go use the bathroom. Like there's no reason for me to use the bathroom anywhere else but a bathroom. You know. I don't know. Just trying to maintain the person I am. Really, you know. Like I know nobody owes me nothing. I don't really expect anything. That's why I'm grateful for anything that I do get. You know.
Right.
You know. So.
Yeah, and that's not to say that people aren't supposed to be nice or compassionate, you know, and I feel like if you're able to help somebody that need it, you should, and why not? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's situation is different. You never know how somebody landed in this particular situation.
Right.
Which is why we're doing this interview now, so that people can have a little insight, you know, on different people, different stories, and how did it happen, so that everybody is just not placed in one box and thinking that, you know, people either want to be out here or it's just drugs or, you know, whatever the case may be. So,
Right, and you know, I also understand the fact that not everybody always has stuff to give. You know, which is understandable too. You know, there's no reason to be mad at that. Like, you know, I see other people that panhandle and stuff, you know, like they'll get told no and they'll start calling people, you know, faggots and all this and all that, and it's like, you know, maybe they don't have it, you know, not just because they live down here or stay down here doesn't mean that they have a lot of money, you know. So it's no reason to be out of line and call people names, you know. That makes people not want to give people stuff either, you know. So
okay, and where do you sleep and find rest and things like that?
like parks and stuff like that at night. I'll sleep in the parks, or like on a specific street, not like a main street or not a back alley, but you know, like somewhere like like a side street, like Chestnut Street or something, that, you know, a block that not everybody goes down early in the morning or late at night, you know. So
Do you have identification and things like that?
no, my wallet was stolen, and I haven't, went to get an ID back yet.
So you don't try to get a job or work, nothing like that.
I haven't recently in the past couple months, honestly. Um, I guess you could say like I've been kind of lazy on like the give up side, you know. Like I don't know. I just been kind of fed up with myself, you know. Like I was never really this person to like not put effort into things. So it's kind of like I don't know. I argue with myself. Like I make myself feel lazy or stupid every once in a while, you know, because like I could be doing better. I could be doing more things, but you know,
I think that's where you should start. As far as trying to figure out how you can at least get a job or something that's going to provide you some type of income and funds. A start. You know what I'm saying? That's your responsibility. Now I
yes,
know that an ID may cost, so you know that's one thing, but I feel like you have to put in the effort and tell yourself you have to do the important things because it starts with you. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? We somebody like me can help as much as we can, but you have to ultimately want it for yourself and willing to do the things that you can do to make things better. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back. What was your childhood like?
um, wasn't too good. Um, my mom was on drugs. She married an abusive guy. And that's one of the reasons I wound up living with my grandma is because my grandma caught on to what was going on, and she kind of like took me away from the situation, which I'm really grateful for. You know, um, I was a stubborn kid. Even worse so in my teen years. You know, trying to do what I wanted and all that. Um, but she went into the hospital, and I kind of just started to bring myself back, and try and do better than I was doing.
Okay. And do you identify with any mental health issues?
Um, yeah. Bipolar depression. I definitely have bipolar depression. ADHD, ADD. Um, they diagnosed me as schizophrenic when I was a kid. I would hear a lot of voices. Um, Other than that, no.
So how do you go about dealing with that, especially out here?
Um, I don't know. After a while, like I stopped taking the medications they had me on myself, and I didn't so much hear the voices anymore. Um, I guess it was just a stage or whatever, from like acting out from the abuse or whatever. Um, but I don't really don't hear anything anymore. My ADHD is, I guess you could say, kind of under control. Like I try to be a calm, laid back person. Um, I definitely have mood swings because of my depression. A lot actually. You know, like sometimes I'll wake up, and things will be cool. I'll be cool, and then like after a few hours, I'll feel really like drained. Like I'll just mentally not want to do nothing. So
Looking back, what would you do different now?
um, I would definitely spend my teen years um, building something instead of wasting it. Like running the streets and all that. Like I would definitely try and like get an actual job and save money and you know try and shoot for like my own place and stuff like that. I would definitely try and do better than I did do. Do things different, like meet different people and hang around different places. You know,
And what's your highest education level?
I completed 11th grade. And then after that, I feel like high school wasn't really teaching me nothing. Like I feel like I was learning more out here, you know, morally than I was in school, like different skills. Like I did certain jobs with my uncle and stuff, installing hardwood floors and carpentry and stuff like that. I did some demolition work. Yeah, I definitely learned more being out of high school than in high school.
For anybody that's seeing this, that's watching, what would you like them to know about you or your situation?
Um, just that I'm not really like everybody else. Like I try and be like unique to an aspect, like I'm very very polite, like I definitely hold on to my, please, thank you, may I, and not for a facade either, like I'm genuinely, you know have manners, because I was raised by my grandmom, so I was definitely raised old school. um and you can't get nothing without giving nothing. You get what you give. So, you know, if you don't put in the effort, you don't get out the effort. So, I'm a quiet person. Definitely a quiet person. I try and stay in my own lane.
Okay. So, being as though a lot of people's first thought is they're on drugs, or they're going to say, well, why not stop doing drugs and get help? What would you say to that?
Um, Not everybody does drugs. There is people out here that, spend their money on food and cigarettes. Um, there, I know a few people that, they make $10, and they do go get, some K2 or whatever. But other than that, really, it's like I said, food, cigarettes, body wash. People, some of us like to stay clean.
What advice would you give to anybody so they don't end up in a situation like this?
Just do your best. Don't like give up on anything. Like, definitely don't give up on anything. No matter how hard something can seem, don't let yourself crumble, because like my grandmom always used to say, the bigger the problem, the bigger the reward. So if you can overcome that obstacle, and it might take a while. Nothing happens overnight. It might take a while, but at the end of that obstacle, you're going to have something nice. God does definitely have a plan for everybody.
And what do you feel is the toughest obstacle you had to face?
I'd say these past 3-4 years have been the biggest challenge of my life. Like my grandma was always my crutch. Like I always had something to fall back on, somebody to help me, and I definitely don't have that this time. So it's definitely difficult.
And what have you learned since being out here?
Not much that I didn't already know. Like the one main thing I did learn is, like the more respect you have, not everybody responds to it, but there is people that appreciate it. And even the simplest things, like when I'm getting the door, sometimes I'll wear a mask. And people, even though the pandemic's over mostly, people still appreciate that. Like there's people that appreciate little things. You don't always have to go out of your way for something.
And what have you learned about yourself?
What I've learned about myself, honestly, is I never really knew like what I was doing in life. Like where to go, what to do. But like being out here this time, like I said, it's been the biggest challenge of my life. I'm only 32, but I definitely learned that like when I do get out of this situation, like I'm gonna do everything to my utmost to not get back into it. You know, no matter what I have to do, I'm not. Once I'm out, I'm not coming back. You know, and like I said, the obstacles, like no matter what I'm faced with, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to come back. Just once I'm out, I'm out. You know, and I have to hold on to that little bit of strength that I have. You know, because without that, you know, you're not always going to have a crutch. So you're going to have to rely on yourself.
Okay, so is panhandling the only way that you're able to eat?
Um, no, not all the time. Sometimes like I'll get the door at like a Wawa or like a fast food place like Popeyes or something, and I won't ask for money or nothing. I'll flat tell people like I don't want any money or anything, but I will ask for food. And sometimes I won't get it, but most of the times I will. Like I said, people appreciate the little things. You tell them you don't want any money, you're looking for food, and off the bat they're like, yeah, no problem. So.
At 32 years old, you're still young, you still got a lot of life ahead of you, and you can still do a lot with your life. And so, are you making any plans now of like what you can do when things change?
Right now, not really. Like I'm not trying to make like any like future plans. I do plan. A buddy of mine is when he gets out of something happened to his foot. So when he gets out of the hospital, me and him is going to go into like a rehab / psych place to so he can get off of the drugs, and I myself can get see if some kind of medication won't help my depression, so I can be more like aggressive towards the things I want to do, which is try and get housing or a job, some job training, like a skill or something like that. And I know the places like that can help you out with that, so I'm definitely going to talk to them about that. And once, like I said, once I'm out, I'm out. I'm going to do everything I can not to come back.
Yeah, because you do have time on your hands, and I think that at this time you should be at least thinking about some things that you can do, about some ideas that you can bring to life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you're only 32 and you can still make a difference. We all got a gift. We all got a gift that only us have, only you have. You have something that nobody else has in them and nobody else can do. But it's up to you to tap in with that and bring that to life.
Yeah.
So,
and with that, it also like comes down to like you got to discover what that is too.
absolutely.
Like I'm not sure what that like what my gift is per se. But I'm sure once I get out of this and I start pushing forward, I'm sure I'll discover what that is.
Yeah, it's not always something immaculate. It's not always an invention.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You might just be good at helping people. You might just be good at conversating. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that you have to offer. It could just be your energy. You know what I'm saying? Like my energy is something that I'm blessed with to be able to connect with people and help people and give people, that push and that positivity. And so, you just have to figure it out. And like I said, with you having this time on your hands, this is the best time to try to tap in with that.
Yeah.
So, that's what I want you to do.
I definitely agree with that. I can definitely agree with that.
How do you deal with your stress and depression out here?
I smoke a lot of cigarettes. Um, sometimes my stress level will reach a certain point, and like once it gets to that level, like the only really way I know how to let that out, it's like I gotta step off. I do let out a few tears. I just don't like to cry a lot in front of people. Never really have. Um, Other than that, you know, really, I just try and maintain positivity. You know, like not everything's always as bad as it seems. So,
Okay. So I have a formula that I go to deal with stress, depression, and to feel better overall. So for me, it's working out, exercising, things like that. Have you ever tried that?
no.
All right. So what I want to do is I want to teach you a few simple exercises that you can do, and I want you to do them whenever you're feeling stressed, whenever you're feeling down, whenever you're feeling like, you're ready to cry or you're in that mode. So would you, be down to let me teach you a few?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. And so, that's what I want to do for you. And I want you to remember those, and I want you to really take heed and really, whenever you're feeling that type of way, just try it. It works. I'm telling you. All right.
Okay.
Just want to thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your story. Keep being positive. Keep putting that good energy out into the universe, because eventually, it's going to come back to you tenfold. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep being positive, and keep trying to push towards, you know, getting to a better place.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And just know that, storms don't last forever. You know what I mean? All right.